That does not bode well. The cueing was really unconvincing.
Even though it was 3-0, I wasn't massively worried for Carlo, but after seeing that, I am. That was a classy shot to get on this pink 4 into the side.
The middle pockets are very tight, far tighter than your normal 9-ball pool table. You can see there, the pocket entrance is tiny. Good cueing needed, good cueing produced.
I bet he's in a little bit of shock as well. He knows how good Biado is, but he started off very slow here. This is going to dress up perfect. Got a nice angle.
No issues whatsoever. Biado, though, has got plenty. 4-0.
Aloysius Yapp wins the rack.
Now on table 4, it is the all-Vietnamese clash between Duong Quoc Quang, the biggest pool star from that country, against this man, Phuong Nam Pham. Two-one it is to the outsider.
Yeah, it's a funny one, Phil, because we're so new to Vietnam, the World 9-Ball Tour. Obviously, we've been twice for the Hanoi Open, and we've seen how crazy the fans and the pool halls. It's unbelievable. We kind of don't know if these two have got any history on the table. We don't know if Nam Pham has got the better of Duong Quoc Quang in matches, do we? But it's a very intriguing matchup, as Duong misses the long bank, so looking good for 3-1 here.
Yeah, what we do know is the winner of this match will play the winner of the one we're watching on the main table, Biado and Yapp, in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, you can see in the distance, that's the young girl from America, Savannah Easton. She's playing in the junior event. She's going along nicely. Really good to see the juniors playing alongside the best pros in the world. What a platform.
In this sport, we've got the PLP, Premier League Pool. What about PNP? Phuong Nam Pham, 3-1 up.
Rack 5, Aloysius Yapp to break, leaded by 4 racks to 0.
What a view of the break this is. Doesn't look like he's got an open pot on this blue too. It's another great break though. Here's a look. Yeah, the cue ball off the side, arcs a little bit. The one ball disappears. Trying to get the cue ball under the 7 if he gets it touching. Now, it depends how close this ball is to the 7. If it's welded on, he may have cut a portion of the left rail out, because that's the rail. Biado's got to try and kick this ball.
While he's deciding, I can tell you on table 2, Jonas Suter Camino of Spain. 3-2 up on Poland's Matthias Snigotsky.
Was a tough shot.
Well
But it was
shot.
made tougher because the cue ball was on the brown 7. So ball in hand again for the
Ball in
third
hand.
time in this match. Also, Fraser Patrick wins
Restart
another rack.
clock.
4-1 over Georgiev.
Carlo Biado ploughing a lone furrow for the Philippines in the last 16. Many of their leading players, very unfortunately, weren't able to get the required visa to travel here. So the likes of Johan Chua, James Arenas, the 2 World Cup winning Filipinos, not able to participate. And the way things are going here, Filipino interest might be ending a little earlier than we thought. Look at that, 35 balls potted by Aloysius Yapp for just 5 from Biado. And that's what can happen even at the very highest level. We saw it in the US Open a couple of years ago, where you were there, Carl, you saw the match and you couldn't believe your eyes when Ko Ping Chung, he potted every single ball in the contest.
Yeah, it was a special performance from Ko Ping Chung. Of course, the Ko brothers couldn't make it this week. They've got Q-sponsored duties over in China.
Well, Yapp seemed to decelerate there, didn't get anywhere near the bite on the cue ball he wanted, and that means complete loss of shape.
Decision time. Does he play safe? Bank the 7 in a straight line, back up in between the 8 and 9. Outside chance of the
Extension
9
called.
laying the hook. Or does he go for the bank past the 9 into the top right corner? I feel like the safety is the better percentage shot, just because you guaranteed the safety. You're not guaranteed the bank, and Carlos had a nightmare start. Keep the pressure on. So it's the first option. This needs to bounce the 7, then he'll get the hook. Maybe a little edge to pop the ball. That's not bad, he's played it that way. It's like an overcut. Now I wonder if Yapp's thinking I should have played the bank. It's all ifs and buts. I can't blame him for playing the safety. He didn't get the hook, that was the problem. Now he's kicking at this brown 7. Should have cleared the table for 5-0.
Yeah, that was the real error. It wasn't as though he was just out of position, he was totally out of position.
Well, I'll tell you what, Phil. Biado needs to pull off a shot here. He's 4 down. He's been at the table in plenty of the racks. This is a nasty one.
everything was against him. The difficulty of the shot being 4-0 down, even the shot clock coming in. It was a good attempt, but not quite good enough.
He just can't believe it. He can't believe what has happened in the opening 5 racks. Went rail first to get the cue ball back out into centre of the table, and he's perfect. It's going to be 5-0 this.
And it's not as though he's just breaking off and running rack after rack.
Aloysius Yapp wins the rack.
Yeah, sometimes needing 2, maybe even 3 chances to get the job done, but it is 5 out of 5, and Aloysius Yapp is halfway to victory and a place in the quarterfinals. Really good career already for Aloysius Yapp, and a really good performance in this event. Obviously, the big result was beating defending champion Robbie Capito 10-7. As you said, Carl, tableside when you were chatting with Hannah at the top of the show, he was a little lucky in that match. He had some really good rolls. It wasn't the easiest contest next against Nicholas Tan, a fellow Singaporean and a really good friend of his. Tan actually competed well in the first half of the match, but then Yapp pulled away. So he arrived in this round having won 47 racks here for the loss of only 21, which is a really good strike rate. Also unbeaten so far, Carlo Biado. That 9-0 whitewash of Besar Spahiu was good going, because Spahiu plays for Albania in the World Cup. Mieszko Fortunski, his next victim, from Poland. He was runner-up in the UK Open last year. He just about squeezed through that, and then against the 20-year-old from Poland, Simon Corral, he was 6-0 up Biado, and at one point it looked as though Corral could pull off an almighty recovery.
Rack 6, Aloysius Yapp to break, leading by 5 racks to 0.
The problem is, Phil, when you're 5 down, 6 down, whenever you're down big in a match, you kind of feel like them little things don't go your way. This is what Biado's going to have to fade.
Did get the 1 in the centre, but he did get the 5. Just a pity for Yapp that the cue ball didn't travel slightly more past the red 3. His path to the 1 completely blocked.
Push out called.
You've always got to let the referee know that you're going to play the push. I think he's just trying to get rid of this pink 4, make it difficult, try and float it in between both balls.
Carlo, it's your choice.
Carlo 100% will take this shot on. There's no way Yapp is getting this back. He doesn't even have to play the jump shot. He can swerve it a little bit, hit the rail first, then pot the yellow 1, land on the blue 2. The pink 4 is a combo on the brown 7. This is a chance.
Foul shots.
Well,
Ball in hand.
Carlo Biado might be advised to go back to his chair and pinch
Start the
himself.
clock.
This is just a nightmare.
Yeah, you might say it's unlucky, but it wasn't. He hit it all wrong. At this level, you cannot afford to scratch in play the amount of times Biado has done. When Yapp played the push out, he tried to make the pink 4 awkward. He didn't, so it's turned out in his favour. Yeah, the pink 4 is the lowest ball on the table. The 5 has disappeared. So as long as you hit the lowest ball first, you can pot another ball and you stay at the table.
It is 5-1 Fraser Patrick over Georgi Georgiev. 5-1 for him. 5-2 for Jonas Suter Camino over Matthias Snigotsky. But the first to 6 looks like being Aloysius Yapp. Right now, Carlo is putting the O in Biado. He's 6-0 down. Aloysius Yapp in total command.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
Well, the title and relegation might have been decided, but there is still plenty to play for in the Premier League in terms of European qualification for next season. The Saturday night football is Bournemouth against Aston Villa. Villa are very much in the hunt for a Champions League spot. 8th place Bournemouth also in the hunt as well for European football, as are Nottingham Forest, who on Super Sunday take on the relegated Leicester City. Forest just 2 points adrift of Chelsea above them in 5th, and 5 spots are playing in the Champions League. Don't forget this coming new season, I should say. And as well, tomorrow, second game on Super Sunday, the champions Liverpool welcome Arsenal at home from 4:15. All those matches for you live on Sky Sports Premier League.
Rack 7, Aloysius Yapp to break, leading by 6 racks to nil.
Well, Julian Roper has put it in a nutshell. Aloysius Yapp, 6-0 up. Biado, his head must be in a spin.
Yeah, if you've just turned on the pool, don't be thinking Carlo Biado's not had many shots. He's had loads of shots. But there's been a lot of poor ones.
Not a lot poor from Fraser Patrick, the Glaswegian, now 6-1 up on Georgi Georgiev.
Good look at the blue two. Got to get down table. Probably for a shot on the red 3 into the right centre pocket. How's the pace? It looks good, you know. Oh, it's perfect because he's not come past the potting line. So the natural angle, the cue ball wants to come down the bottom end of the table. And that's where his next ball is. Jeremy Jones at the top of the show, Phil, he said, if you're not quite on your game, you will get beat. And that is exactly what's happened so far in this match.
Late on in the tournament, though, because obviously the cream rise to the top, we don't very often see a duck egg. When they met in that US Open final in Atlantic City in 2021, Biado won the last 10 racks from 8-3 down. He could still pull this out of the fire, but it's looking increasingly unlikely.
Yeah, Aloysius Yapp has come into the UK Open in a little bit of form, hasn't he, Phil?
Yeah, he's a very consistent campaigner these days. Of course, he's won the International Open, as you mentioned earlier on, Carl, in each of the last 2 years. And I thought the way he played in the Reyes Cup, he won the most valuable player for Team Asia. And that was really appropriate because he was so cool, particularly in securing the clinching point when Europe were on the comeback trail.
And just last weekend, got to the final of the Scottish Open, losing out to Mickey Krause. Mickey Krause is also through to the final 16. He plays in the next session against Piers Labutus.
Six becomes 7, and right now Carlo Biado at 6s and 7s. Now on table 3, I think this is one of the great stories on the World 9-Ball Tour we've seen so far. Fraser Patrick 6-1 up on Georgi Georgiev, But the Bulgarian is very experienced, more experienced in 9-ball than his opponent, and he's at the table in a must-win rack 8.
Yeah, the pink 4. If that squeezes past that green 6 into that far corner, that's what he's played for. Yeah, that was a good shot. Controlled the cue ball as well for the purple, and at this level, this should be the rack over.
Been some noteworthy pull from the Bulgarian players here. Spasian Spasov, he was the one on day 1 who eliminated the US Mosconi Cup player Shane Walford. Walford came here from his home in Virginia, played 2 matches, lost them both, and immediately departed. On table 2, Jonas Suter Camino from the island of Ibiza. Well, tomorrow night we might have a party because he's 7-2 up on Matthias Nigotsky and perfectly in for 8-2. Came into the commentary box yesterday, did Jonas, when you were swanning off somewhere, Carl, and what a nice lad.
Yeah, well, we had professional boxer Conor Walker pop into the UK Open, so I was showing him the ropes, showing him around the venue. Had a game of pool with him.
I'm led to believe he beat you.
Well, I mean, that's a strong statement. It was more, I let him have a few too many shots just to see what he was about. I mean, he is a boxer, Phil.
Yeah, good move. So, Georgi Georgiev now 6-2 down. Can confirm Jonas Suter Camino 8-2 up on Matthias Nigotsky. And Duong Quoc Wang from Vietnam is taking on his fellow countryman Phuong Nam Pham. That is 4-3 to Phuong. All of these matches to try and determine our quarter-finalists in the second session this evening. Still to come, Piers Labutis against Mickey Kraus, Jason Shaw against Win Antoine. That's on the main table, of course. Alexa Pachelch against Victor Zelinsky, and Naoki Oi against the conqueror of Joshua Filler last night, Tyler Steyer. The main table match is about to resume. So Yapp wants exactly
Rack 8.
what happened in the
Aloysius
7th.
Yapp to break. Leading by 7 racks to 0.
i.e. a break and run out.
Got to look at the blue too. The break didn't go his way in the early part of this match. He wasn't getting a look at the lowest ball, but he is now. That's the last 2 breaks where you can see the blue too.
Not very often in this game, Carl, that you say the break wasn't going his way for someone who's 7-0 up, but it's absolutely accurate. You were very much on point there. It wasn't going his way.
Yeah, he's got to go forward with loads of left here. He's got to avoid the green ball with the cue ball. It's not going to be easy to get on this red 3. If we could get the cue ball where it is now, we would take that.
Extension called.
Yeah, oh, it's going to be tricky, that one. Well, trying to keep the pressure on, but that is not how to do it. He's left the gap here. Doesn't look like he can pot that anywhere though.
Extension called.
This three needs to bounce. It's not bounced high enough. Nothing is going right for the Filipino.
Yes, Biado, 8 years removed from being the world 9-ball champion. He's got a wonderful CV. He won the 2017 championship, beating Roland Garcia in the final. He's won so much, but today he's been so off the pace.
Yapp's just been there to pick up the pieces. Someone who is not struggling. Jonas Suto Camino is at the table. He's 8-2 up over Mateus Nagoki. Camino absolutely flies round the table. Plays super quick.
Yeah, he's just thundered a 6-ball in, underlining his confidence. It looks as though, Carl, another one is going to bite the dust.
Another rack where Carlo has got his hand on the slate as well. It's amazing, isn't it, Phil? When you look back at the very first rack Carlo was in, and he had that shot where he cut the ball along the bottom rail. He was trying to go up and down with the cue ball. He misjudged it and sent the cue ball into the pocket where the 7's just gone. And if he'd have gone on to have cleared the table and won the rack, just how different could this match have been?
Of course you want hill finishes, you want competitive contests, but I think there's a real fascination about matches like this, when a giant of the game is being humbled.
Aloysius Yapp.
That was his 66th pot in the match, Aloysius Yapp. Clickety-click, 8-0. Now on table 2, Jonas Suter Camino looking to become the first player onto the hill. He's won a couple of smaller World 9-Ball Tour ranking events recently in Seattle, in the Pacific Northwest of the USA, and then in Helsinki, Finland. He's never been more confident, and that is shining through against Matthias Snigotsky, 9-2. And assuming Jonas wins that match, and Jason Shaw comes through his last 16 match, they will go head-to-head in the quarter-finals, which should be really entertaining.
You can see in Biado's face he's bemused at what's gone on here. He can't believe it.
He is, though, a fighter. We know he won't be giving up. And if he can get some traction, we have seen some remarkable recoveries in 9-ball pool over the years, especially with the winner breaks format. Aloysius Yapp also knows that even though the scoreline is entirely lopsided, this by no means over.
Rack 9, Aloysius Yapp to break. Leading by 8 racks to 0.
8-0 with the break. Well, if the one ball would have gone in the side, he'd have had a good look at the blue too. Now he's faced with a difficult shot on the yellow one here. In fact, it's really difficult. He may play a push.
Just while he's in the contemplation phase, I can tell you on table 3, Georgi Georgiev now trailing Fraser Patrick 6-3. So maybe there's a twist there.
Push out called.
There's the push out. Carlo will
Carlo,
have
it's
the
your
option
choice.
of playing this shot or giving it back, and well, who knows, should he play it or not?
At any point of a pool match,
Aloysius,
it's
please play
easy
again.
to second guess yourself. When you're 8-0 down, it's very easy.
Extension called.
Okay, he's putting back in. Is he going to go for the bank in the upper left corner? Is that the plan? I believe it will be. What a beauty!
Biado hasn't potted a ball since the 3rd rack.
Was that the cue ball?
He's potted that a few times, you're right. You're being very harsh there on a legend.
Yep, lowest ball first. That's what we call a carom. When the cue ball knocks another ball in. He'll play another bank shot here, you know what, Phil? It sets up pretty good. There's no point in going safety here, because just one more rack puts him on the hill. He's close to giving Biado the donut. But he's missed it. The donut might not happen after all. Listen, we can't chalk this down just yet. He's already missed a blue 2 in this very pocket in this match.
So often when you see a bank missed, it's on that side, the narrow side of the pocket. Well, if the 2 goes in, it will be a eureka moment.
At last, Carlo Biado plays a good shot. Cue ball needs to go. It needs to go. It's not perfect. This is thin. Needed to finish near the line on the table. This is super thin. Cue ball's going to be travelling as well. Well, after everything that's gone on in this match, that was a splendid shot. Bit of a funny angle here though. Yeah, he played it that way, purposely playing it off the rail so he could hold the cue ball there. You notice how he didn't try and do something fancy to get straight on the 8. He just took his medicine.
Looks as though the whitewash is going to be averted.
Carlo Biado.
And don't write off Carlo Biado just yet. It might seem fanciful to come back from this, but if anyone can do it, he can do it. Now, on table 2, the first winner in the last 16, first player into the quarterfinals, Jonas Suto Camino of Spain. He's improving all the time. He's full of self-belief. He whizzes around the table, and he's whizzed to a 10-2 victory over Poland's Matthias Snigodski. Jonas now plays either Win Antoine or Jason Shaw in the quarterfinals later.
This is meant to be, like it's my destiny. You better believe it, make it look easy, like it was made for me. I was made for this, build it brick by brick, taking all the risks, I throw them back in the fire. If you wanna make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone. you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
Former world 9-ball champion Carlo Biado has been
Back 10.
out of
Carlo
form.
Biado to break. Trailing
Now
by
though,
8
at
racks
least
to
he's
1.
off the mark. Are we going to see one of those comebacks we talk about for years?
He's going to need a little bit of help from the old pool gods. What I mean by that is after the break, he's just got to make sure he puts the one in the side, hits a good cue ball, which he did. The rest will take care of itself. This time, the two's dressed up over the side. This is a chance. I'm sure in the break, Carlo set himself a little target, a little goal. Try and get it back to 8-4, 8-5, and then kind of hope he puts a little bit of heat on Yapp. And you know, when you're 8-0 down and obviously 8-1, maybe it's going to be 8-2, you would literally take a hill rack all day long.
Yeah, psychologically the most important thing is to keep Yapp off the hill for as long as possible. Caught that pot too thick. That's why the cue ball didn't travel as much as he wanted, and that's why there's no shape on the 6.
Extension called.
Using the extreme edge of the bridge. Hitting the extreme edge of the 6 ball. What a shot that was.
Well, what's he going to do here? He's landed super straight on the brown 7. He can play for the bank on the 8, but where the 9 ball is, it's going to be difficult to play the bank and get back down on the 9. He's in a tricky spot here. There you go. Look how straight he is. He can't even cheat the pocket and create an angle. He's just going to have to stop the ball dead and play the bank. Okay, it's the bank shot in the middle pocket near the cue ball. That's where the 8 will go. Cue ball 2 or 3 rails back down for the 9. He's scratched quite a lot in this match, Phil. There could be another one here. The cue ball's going to be travelling.
Carboys is a harbinger of doom. Not far off, Carl, but Yapp pulled one out there. Yeah.
Carlo Biado cleans the rack.
Biado, A2. As we said before, never write him off. Yeah, perhaps thinking, might have a chance here. Oh no, confined to his chair.
Yeah, this was a beauty, it really was. Goal 1, make sure you make the bank and hopefully the cue ball stays dry, which it did. So he's off the mark, he's making a little dent in the scoreline.
Yeah, that flying finger, look, when he's bridging. A little unusual, that was the bad shot of the rack, the 5, he caught it too thick. But the bank on the 8 to avoid the scratch as well, that was the spectacular moment. Yapp is well aware of his Reyes Cup teammates' reputation for fighting. There'll be no complacency from him. indeed, if Biado can keep up the pressure, Yapp would start to feel the heat. Can tell you, Fraser Patrick 7-3 up on Georgi Georgiev. At the table as well, potting balls to potentially make it 8-3.
Rack 11, Carlo Biado to break, trailing by 8 racks to 2.
The other match out there on table 4, Duong Kwok Wang 7-4 up on Phuong Nam Pham.
Ooh, the 9-ball was tracking there. He won't mind because he's got to look at the blue too. It's not an easy one, don't get me wrong, but the way this match has gone, Carlo's going to take this. This will cut in the side as well as go in the corner. It all depends on where the cue ball goes for the red 3. So he's going to go into the right side pocket. That way the cue ball will come off the top rail and back down for the red 3. Needs a bit of luck here. He needs a bit of luck. Well, how much of the red ball can he see? This is a big old shot into that top corner. He can see enough of it to pot it in that corner, but the cue ball's got to do some travelling.
Early on in the match, he missed a much easier 2-ball into this very same target.
Refused the pot and played a poor save.
Fraser Patrick has just broken off in the 12th rack on table 3 with an 8-3 lead over Georgi Georgiev.
Extension called.
Earlier on in the match, Yapp had a chance at a full table bank. He decided to play safe and played a bad safety. He has also made a full table bank in this match. Is he going to go for the bank again? I don't think he is. He's played the up and down. The cue ball's going to squeeze out. Maybe you should be going for the bank because you've made one in this match. The 2 safeties that you've played after turning down the bank, you've butchered them. Three ball onto the green. Got to control the cue ball and the red 3 as well.
It wasn't a gimme plant, not one of those where you just got to make contact with the second ball. But I'm still a little surprised he missed it. And as soon as he made contact with the 3, you knew the 6 wasn't going in. How do you like them apples? Look at this. I mean, it was a very well controlled carom, but where the 3 ball finished up, and indeed the 4,
Well, you get punished, don't you? Carlo had his chance in this rack. Just lost the cue ball slightly. The main thing is it's stopped before the 9 ball, so you can still control the cue ball here. That will do. He's not straight on the 9, but he'll take care of this. 1 ball to go and he's on the hill.
Aloysius Yapp, the pride of Singapore, 9-2 up. Carlo Biado has to win the last 8 racks to turn this around. Another match looking as though it's going to the hill. Fraser Patrick. What a revelation he's been, Carl.
There's the pause at the back of the shot with Fraser Patrick. We told you, he's a former snooker player, now playing 9-ball pool, learning the trade as he goes along, doing it nicely.
Yeah, 9-3 now, just 1 more rack required. We've had a lot of snooker players coming over to dabble in 9-ball pool. Gary Wilson, the most successful, of course. Judd Trump's played in the US Open. Jack Lazowski has had a try or two. Same with Stuart Bingham. Fraser Patrick trying to become the first to make it to a quarter-final, and he's almost there. So, will there be a clean ending? Will Yapp progress much more comfortably than anyone could possibly have imagined?
Aloysius Yapp to break, leading by 9 racks to 2 on the hill.
Well, he was breaking with a chance to win the match and he's broke dry. Good news is the table looks to be tricky.
Had there been a lot of this, a lot of tricky layouts, I think he would have made Biado a big favourite because tactically he is the more astute of the two.
Called. Aloysius, it's your choice.
Now look at this on table 3. Fraser Patrick on the hill. The 9-ball nudged by the 2. In it goes. Fraser Patrick through to the quarterfinals. The Glaswegian has glory over Georgi Georgiev.
What a moment. What I loved about that is when it was going in the pocket, he kind of gave it the big one. We're seeing too many players apologise. Don't apologise. You want the 9 to go in off the break.
Well, Fraser Patrick's fellow countryman Stephen Hendry, that's his crusade in snooker. He can't believe just how players keep apologising for every little nudge. He said, don't apologise, just go for it, as you say.
Foul shot. Ball in hand.
Yeah, if you're wondering why that is a foul, after
Please
contact,
start the clock.
a ball must hit the rail. If you pot a ball, that's fine. That
Extension
goes in the
call.
corner, but he's not playing the pot. He could play the pot. He's playing the hook. Trying to dress the 9 up for later on. Well, if Biado doesn't hit the yellow 1 ball here, the match will be over. This is a must hit. Could possibly fluke the 9 if he hits it. Oh, he's not scratched again. How many times has he scratched in this match?
Ball in hand. Please start the clock.
Well, the decision of Aloysius Yapp to play for containment, that worked out. Just connecting the dots here. 1 to 2, then a 3-9 combo.
Huge cheers in the arena, let me tell you. That's one of the junior matches. There's a real young boy playing in the event. He's about your height, Phil, and he just beat one of the older teenagers.
Aloysius Yapp
Here,
wins the match.
one of the game's established stars has beaten one of the game's superstars convincingly.